Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 21st of July 2023. And today we have taken many articles from the newspaper. Most of these articles are important for the prelims and mains examination. Also we have taken some questions for the prelims exam and also for the mains exam. So let us quickly start the discussion with the first topic. So these are the list of articles that we have taken for today's discussion and the page number, okay, page number is mentioned over here. So with this, let us see some other also. So these are some additional articles that we have taken for discussion for the day. So let's discuss about the first topic. It says India's data protection law needs refinement, okay. So this article is revolving about the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023, and the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 has been, let's say, released by the central government, and the central government has released it for the third time. Before this, like, it has released it earlier also, but like it was not a successful attempt because there were many critics of this particular bill, okay. So they have amended some of the portions, they have changed some of the provisions of the bill, and they have introduced it again. Now again the author, author in this article, he is pointing out that this particular bill also resembles largely to the previous bill. There is no much difference in the previous bill and this one. So we are going to discuss about this particular thing at this point of time. So let's start the discussion. Okay, so today's topic is related to Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, okay, Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023. And this Digital Personal Data Protection Bill is a new bill that the government of India has released, and this particular bill seeks to, let's say, protect the personal data of users, okay, personal data of users. And personal data, like how it seeks to protect the personal data. The personal data will be protected from search engines, let's say, search engines or digital platforms, okay, digital platforms means the social media platform. Social media platform means let's say there is Facebook, then Instagram, etc. Okay, so this personal data protection bill seeks to, let's say, protect all these data, okay. It seeks to protect these personal data of users. But at the same time, this Digital Personal Data Protection Bill is being criticized also. Why it is being criticized? Because people are saying that this particular bill may be misused. This particular bill may be misused by the government in such a manner that, government wants to. People are saying that government wants to, let's say, make the RTI Act, okay, make the RTI Act 2005 a toothless act by bringing this particular bill. Although this particular thing is not mentioned in this particular article, however, in earlier articles, they have mentioned that RTI Act has some provisions where the government of India has to, let's say, release data related to any information that is sought by, okay, that is sought by consumers at large. But if this bill is passed, if the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill is passed by the government, in that case, the public information officers, okay, they are known as public information officers, public information officers, PIO. So they can deny giving information under Right to Information Act 2005, and there is section 8 clause 1 okay, there is section 8 clause 1 clause, let's say IJ, etc. So like that allows the public information officials to deny information citing some of the reasons. There are specifically 10 reasons mentioned under it, okay. There are 10 reasons mentioned under it. But this digital personal data protection bill that the government of India wants to, let's say like pass through the parliament, this needs, okay, this needs some kind of refinement. The author suggests that like it needs many refinement. I mean like in the nature of, let's say in the nature of definition and classification of personal data, because any data that is available in online, okay, it can be related to some form of personal data. For example, if I talk about Uber ride, okay, people are using, let's say, cabs for going to their home, right? So they are generally giving their, let's say like phone numbers to the Uber, they are giving their home address to the Uber. So this will be personal data, and like if this bill seeks to, let's say, regulate the usage of personal data, it needs fine tuning, it needs refinement, okay. So this article is a kind of let's say critique to the digital personal data protection bill. And it says that like this bill needs to be refined so that like it meets the current scenario of usage of data by many platforms, okay. Some of the platforms it has highlighted like Uber rides, it has highlighted about like let's say like many such usage of digital personal data. So this is just a very straightforward article on this topic. So with this, let us move to the next topic quickly. And also before that, we have a question for you. This is a question for the mains exam, okay. So it says, recently the Union government has released the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023. What are the main features of the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, okay. You need to just mention the main features of this particular bill, okay. So after writing an answer to this question, you can send it to us at evaluation, okay, evaluation at lukmaanias.com, okay, evaluation at lukmaanias.com. You can send it to us and like we will evaluate your copy. We are going to give you back the evaluated copy, okay. So just start writing answers if you have not yet started, so that like we can start let's say like evaluating your copies after receiving. Now this is another topic. Once again, this is a very important topic. This topic is about like wrestlers protest that has been recently happening. So it says, an impasse in wrestlers case, the lawsuer is the rule of law, okay. The lawsuer is the rule of law. So this article has been written by a professor of law of Delhi University, and he has said like I'll be reading this particular like short para to make you understand it clearly. It says, there is a weakening of the rule of law in India, best exemplified by the impasse in the wrestlers' sexual harassment complaint and the feeble administrative, judicial and political attempts to ensure justice, okay. So basically through this article the author wants to convey that now when we talk about, let's say, ensuring justice, the political administration, the judicial administration, they are moving at a feeble pace. I mean like they are moving very slowly, and like they are not let's say putting effort to give complete justice to the victims, okay. So in this article the author has highlighted that the law has autonomy and it has supremacy in India, okay. So it says the autonomy and supremacy of the law cannot be taken for granted, because it is independent of political commitment and a robust rule of law culture, okay. So in India we do have a robust rule of law culture, and like rule of law has prevailed over in many situations. And now the time has come that like the people who are into the administration, the people who are running the country in administrative matters, be it, let's say, politicians, be it executive, be it judiciary, okay. So they have a responsibility of upholding the rule of law with ensuring utmost impartiality and transparency. And in this case the author has given details about a case. Which case? the case of wrestlers. Recently you might have seen in YouTube, or you might have seen in television, right, through different mediums, you might have noted that the wrestlers have been protesting in Jantar Mantar. They have been protesting in New Delhi, and they have been protesting against a sitting minister of the Ministry of Sports. Okay, so that sitting minister is accused of sexual misconduct. Okay, he is accused of, let's say, a sexual misconduct while being in office, and he has done sexual misconduct with even a minor. Okay, so those people have been protesting against the wrestler. Okay, those people have been protesting against the wrestler in this case. Wrestler in the sense, the politician. The wrestlers have been protesting against the politician in this case, and in this article they have mentioned they have mentioned about many sections of the existing law which is in place. Okay, so for long time these wrestlers have been trying to get their case registered through a police station, but the police officials have been denying registering a FIR against the sitting minister, okay, of the Ministry of Sports. So later on the wrestlers have reached, they have started doing protest in Jantar Mantar, and it has received national attention because many media outlets, they have covered the ongoing issue, and also the culprit was being protected. Why? Because he is a part of the ruling dispensation, and also he holds a key role. He is a minister, he is a minister of the central government. So the wrestlers have been finding it difficult to register their case in the court of law, and also that's why they have raised a protest. They have started a protest in Jantar Mantar, and it has received attention, and then they have sought to reach to the Supreme Court of India. And one of the lawyer who has participated in the hearings in the Supreme Court of India, he has asked the Chief Justice of India to direct the police officials to register a FIR, to register a complaint. Okay, so the Supreme Court of India has directed the Delhi police that they should register a complaint against the suspect, or against the culprit, or against the accused. So after then the Delhi police have registered 2 FIRs, right, and in those, after registering the FIR, so they have taken months, and the protesters, they have now decided that we are going to fight a legal battle through courts. Okay, but the Delhi police, what they have done, in this article they have mentioned that the Delhi police have been selective, right? They have been selective in doing the investigation, and they have done the investigation in such a manner, right, that the wrestlers have been accused, means wrestlers have been framed by the Delhi High Court, and they did not frame, what we say, they did not even investigate the main culprit, the main accused in this case. So here the author wants to highlight that the main accused has been evading, right, all the rules and procedures that are in place. Why? Because he is a very powerful person. Okay, so the author has mentioned various cases also, and the author has also mentioned here that the police who have not been registering the FIR in the first instance, they are also liable for punishment. Why? Because here the author says that the Delhi police is also under legal obligation under section 166A clause C in the amended penal code 2013, as in the amended penal code, which makes non-recording of information about sexual offences an offence punishable up to 2 years of imprisonment. It says so Delhi, the police authorities also have legal obligation to ensure that they are recording the information, right? They are recording the information, they are filing the FIRs and all. So this is the thing. In this article, the author has mentioned some of the cases also. One of the cases, Lalita Kumari 2013. Okay, so Delhi police would have been better reminded of their obligation to follow the mandatory FIR registration. Okay, so there was a case, Lalita Kumari case, where the Supreme Court of India has given a judgment that like it is the responsibility, it is the mandatory responsibility of the police, police officials to register an FIR in case of, let's say, like these offences that are cognizable offences, non-bailable offences, the offences under POCSO. POCSO stands for this thing, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. Okay, POCSO stands for Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. Alright, so in this article the author says that like the onus lies on those people who are in authority. They have the responsibility of making sure that the existing rules are let's say followed, and justice be given to those people who are in need of justice. Justice be given to those people who have approached a court of law, right, for seeking justice. So this is the thing. In your free time you can read this article and understand it better. So with this we will take a question on POCSO Act also. Okay, so in that article they have mentioned about prevention of so POCSO Act they have mentioned about it. So Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. So with reference to the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, consider the following statements. So these are the statements that are given. It says it was enacted in 2012. This is right. Second, it provides for establishment of special courts for trial for offences of sexual assault, sexual harassment and pornography. This is also correct. The third, it is under the ambit of Ministry of Home Affairs. This is wrong. The third statement is wrong. How many of the above statements is or are correct? It says how many of the above statements is or are correct? 1 and 2. I mean only 2 of the statements are correct in this case. Okay, only 2 of the statements are correct. So with this we will see the solution also. This is the solution of the first question. You can read it in your free time. However, I will just mention about some of the important provisions. It says the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. This act was enacted in 2012. Okay, so as mentioned in statement 1 of the question. POCSO Act protects children from offences of sexual assault, sexual harassment and pornography. This is mentioned in this statement 2. It provides establishment of special courts of trial such as offences and for matters connected therewith. I mean this is, and this comes under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Okay, so the third statement in the question was wrong because that says it comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. However, it comes under Ministry of Women and Child Development. Okay, so that's why the third statement was wrong. So you can read it further in your free time. Again we have another topic. It says no quick fix. India's private sector must be incentivized to see value in invention. Okay, so this topic is very important because this topic talks about National Research Foundation. Okay, so let's discuss about this topic. No quick fix. Okay, so main idea of this question is related to National Research Foundation. National Research Foundation, NRF Bill 2023. So the government of India wants to establish a foundation which is known as National Research Foundation. What will be the role of National Research Foundation? The National Research Foundation is going to, let's say, collaborate with the government. It's going to collaborate with the private sector, and it's going to collaborate with, let's say, higher educational institutions. Okay, and research centers. Why it is going to collaborate with all of these, let's say like, parties to, okay, it is going to collaborate with all these parties. Why? It is going to collaborate for one important person, to promote research and developmental activities in India, okay, to promote research and developmental activities in India. So we want to promote research and developmental activities in India. That's why we are setting up National Research Foundation, and this National Research Foundation is going to collaborate with the government, with the private sector like corporates, industry, and also higher educational institutes and research centers across India to promote research and developmental activities in India. And so how this particular body is going to be, funded, okay. If I talk about funding mechanism for this particular body, funding will come from two sources. One of the sources is the government. Government is going to provide around rupees 14,000 crore, okay, 14,000 crore for this body. And the second source of funding will be the private sector, okay, private sector through, okay, second source of funding would be private sector through corporate social responsibility, okay, CSR activities. And from here the government of India wants to raise around 36,000 crore rupees, okay, 36,000 crore. So in all, the total funding for this particular body would be around 50,000 crore, okay, 50,000 crore. And this particular amount would be utilized over the next 5 years, okay, next 5 years. You might be knowing in India we have many research institutions, we have many higher educational institutions, but many of these research institutions are not adequately funded for doing cutting edge, research in many fields. For example, be it the field of biotechnology, be it the field of, let's say, basic sciences, or let's say applied sciences, right? So for them they need big equipments, they need, let's say, supercomputers, and also some of the institutes need, let's say, those research professionals who would be working, okay, who would be working full time with utmost sincerity. And for that, as of now, presently, many people who are working as, let's say, research scholars, PhDs in many institutions in India, these people are not getting properly incentivized. Why? Because the pay that they are receiving is very minimal, and with that pay, they are barely able to, let's say, manage for their expenses, right? So that's also a factor. So that's why the research and developmental activities in India need huge amount of funding support from the government, okay. And if I talk about this National Research Foundation, the National Research Foundation, this National Research Foundation will be set up in tune with the United States of America's similar research foundation, which is known as United States National Science Foundation, okay, National Science Foundation. And also it will be very similar to many such research institutions in, let's say, in developed countries, like European Union also has similar bodies in place. So in India we want to establish this particular body, and this body is going to play a very crucial role. It is going to drive the innovative spirit, right, among researchers and research institutions, okay. It is going to drive what? Innovation, okay. It is going to drive innovation among research and developmental institutions, and also those people who studied from these R&D institutions, they will be incentivized, okay, they will be incentivized to start companies, okay, to start companies and hire R&D experts or scientists, and they will, let's say, do innovation, and this innovation will like, let's say, increase the productivity, okay, it's going to increase productivity in, let's say, cutting edge technologies, okay, in cutting edge technological thing. Why India is lacking? India is lacking because like there is lack of support from the government, lack of support from the, let's say, like from the industry also, like for doing research and developmental activities. So that's why many people feel like, let's say, demotivated. So like once this National Research Foundation is established by the government, it will prove to be very successful. I mean, like, why? Because there is a thrust from the government itself that like this particular body will be established. And what is CSR? I have discussed about CSR. CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, okay. So we do have a Companies Act 2013, okay. The Companies Act 2013 mandates some profit making companies to contribute, right, through CSR activities, okay, to do spending through CSR activities. All right. So with this, let us take another topic quickly. Okay. So this is the topic that we have discussed just now. This is another very important topic. It says, is the delimitation question, okay, is the delimitation question settled, okay. So through this article we will understand about the meaning of delimitation. We will understand about, like, the topic that have been that have been covered in this news article. So here in this article it says, is the delimitation question settled? Okay, it says, is the delimitation question settled? So let's understand what do we mean by delimitation. Okay, so what is the meaning of delimitation? Delimitation means redrawing boundaries, okay, it means redrawing boundaries, okay, redrawing boundaries. For what purposes? The purpose of redrawing boundary is to establish constituencies, okay, to establish constituencies, okay, to establish constituencies for, let's say, state legislative assembly elections, okay, for state legislative assembly elections, and also for general elections which are known as Lok Sabha elections in India, okay, for Lok Sabha elections in India. So this is the purpose, okay. So this is like delimitation means they want to redraw the boundaries of constituencies, okay, and the purpose of this is, like, for boundaries of constituencies of state legislative assemblies and Lok Sabha elections, so that, like, we have, so that, like, we have same number of voters, okay, same or equal number of voters in each constituency, okay, equal number of voter in each constituency, okay, And so this is the purpose, so that we have equal number of voters in each constituency, so that the people who are let's say elected, they are elected by the same voter base. And like in India we have, let's say, this principle, one vote, one value, right? We have one vote, one value system. And in India we have universal adult suffrage. Okay, what we have? We have universal adult suffrage. What do we mean by this? Universal adult suffrage. So it means everyone, okay, everyone who is above the age of 18 years, okay, everyone means every citizen of India, above the age of 18 years, okay, above 18 years of age can vote in elections, okay, can vote in elections, and his vote will have only one value. This is irrespective, okay, this particular value that person gets, okay, it will have one value, okay. So this value of vote of one person will be same, whether that person is the Prime Minister of India or that person is a common citizen of India. Everybody has the same value of vote, okay, that's the thing in normal elections, okay. So that's the thing. So we do have the concept of universal adult suffrage. And why this delimitation related topic is now in news? Because the Election Commission of India, okay, so this delimitation exercise in India is done by this particular authority, which is known as Election Commission of India, okay. It is done by Election Commission of India. And what is the frequency with which it does delimitation? So that is mentioned under the Delimitation Act. We do have a Delimitation Act also in India. And so far, so far 4 times Delimitation Commission has been set up. And if I talk about the Election Commission of India, in the Election Commission of India, one person is the Chief Election Commissioner, okay. I am talking about composition of the Election Commission of India, okay. Its composition would be 5 members, okay. 1 member would be Chief Election Commissioner, and there will be 4, okay, there will be 4 election commissioners, okay. It is a 5-member body, and this is a constitutional authority. This is a constitutional body that is mandated with the task of conducting free and fair election, okay, free and fair election in India, okay, free and fair election in India, okay, free and fair election in India, free and fair election at the level of central government, let's say for Lok Sabha election and also for states, okay. So this is the body, Election Commission of India. This is a constitutional body mentioned in part 15 of the Constitution of India, right. So we have discussed about this. So why the delimitation question is in news now? Because the Election Commission of India has set up a delimitation commission, right, for doing delimitation activity, for redrawing boundaries of constituencies in the state of Assam. Constituencies for the state legislative assembly election in Assam, and also for upcoming Lok Sabha elections, okay, because Lok Sabha election will be conducted across the country in India in 2024, and so that's why they are redrawing the boundaries of constituencies. And so if I talk about doing delimitation, basically they have used the data of 1976, okay. The last data that they have used is of 1976, okay. And so far delimitation commission has been set up in different times. I'm going to mention about those times also for you, okay. So the first delimitation commission was set up in 1952, second in 1962, other in 1972. I think 1972 it was to set up, but later on it was set up in 1976. Okay, you need to check this one, right? Because earlier in like when I went to the Election Commission of India website, it mentioned 1972, right? In the news it was mentioned 1976, okay, somewhere like that. So here an interview was conducted by a person, and that interview was conducted with the former Chief Election Commissioner of India, and there was a professor, okay, O.P. Rawat is a former chief, he is 22nd Chief Election Commissioner of India, and then like Uday Mishra, he is Professor of International Institute for Population Sciences. So like he served as the 22nd member of Chief Election Commissioner. So in this interview the author has asked multiple questions related to delimitation exercise. Like one of the question is, Lok Sabha constituencies were delimited pan India based on 1971 population last time. Why did we decide that we should wait until 2026 before the new population figures are taken into account? So for these questions they have like he has given his answer. So in your free time you can go through the entire document to understand what the former Chief Election Commissioner of India has to say about these questions of the author. Okay, I am not going to discuss each questions now because it's going to take a lot of time. In your free time you can read it. Okay. So we do have a question for you again. This is a question for the mains exam. These questions are like for practice, right? You need to practice these questions. It says, what is delimitation commission? Write the composition, power and functions of delimitation commission. Okay, you need to write down the about composition, what powers it has, and also the functions of the delimitation commission. Okay, so this is the thing. So with this, like we came to another topic quickly. This topic, it says, why is Kerch Bridge attack significant? Okay, so here we have the images also of Kerch Bridge. Okay, we have images also of Kerch Bridge, and so recently there was an attack on the Kerch Bridge, and these attacks were done by 2 sea-based drones, and that has damaged the Kerch Bridge. Although just after the damage a restoration activity was done and the rail line has been, let's say, like re-established, but however the road bridge, I mean like still the reconstruction activity is happening. So where is this Kerch Bridge located? So we are going to discuss all about it in this question, in this topic. So let's start the discussion. I am just writing name of the topic to be Kerch Bridge. Okay, name of the topic is Kerch Bridge. So basically, if I talk about the Kerch Bridge, right? So you need to understand about the map of the Kerch Bridge, right? On one side, let's say there is Russia, okay, and on the other side we have Ukraine. Okay, Ukraine, and here we have Sea of Azov. Okay, Sea of Azov, and here we have Black Sea. Okay, here we have Black Sea, and so Sea of Azov, Black Sea, and there is a narrow passage of, let's say, water. This is known as Kerch Strait. Okay, this narrow passage of water is known as Kerch Strait. So straits are geographical features. They are like narrow channel of water that connects two water bodies, and it separates two land masses. Okay, so on this Kerch Strait there was a bridge. Okay, there is a bridge, and name of this particular bridge is Kerch Bridge. Okay, name of this bridge is Kerch Bridge. Now this Kerch Bridge connects Russia and like one of the annexed territory of Russia, which is known as Crimea. Crimea was annexed. Annexed means like it was taken control of by Russia in the year of 2014. So Russia has occupied, Russia has taken control of this particular region, Crimea, in 2014, right? It's been, let's say, 8-9 years that Russia has control over this particular region. And this Kerch Bridge is the only bridge that connects the mainland Russia with this Crimea, okay, this is like the portion that I am shading over here, let's say this is Crimea. And now this attack was done over here not for the first time. Earlier also there was an attack in the Kerch Bridge, and that attack was, let's say, claimed that like Ukraine has done this attack. Ukraine had taken the responsibility that we have attacked on Kerch Bridge. But this time Ukraine has not yet taken the responsibility of it. So this attack on Kerch Bridge is an attack, right, to, let's say, cut off Crimea from Russia. However, Russia was not cut off because Russia has stationed its forces in Crimea. And soon after the attack on the Kerch Bridge, Russia has declared that it is going to come out of Black Sea Grain Initiative. Okay, Black Sea Grain Initiative. So what is this Black Sea Grain Initiative? The Black Sea Grain Initiative is an initiative in which like it was agreed that like the produce from Ukraine can be sold over to other areas, and like can be sold over to other areas, and that can pass through this particular region, I mean like this particular bridge or this region through Crimea. And who are the members of this Black Sea Grain Initiative? The members were Russia, one of the members was Russia, other is Turkey, and the other member is Ukraine, and the other member is United Nations, okay, United Nations. So they are members of the Black Sea Grain Initiative. But however, soon after the attack on this particular Kerch Bridge, Russia has declared that like we are going to withdraw ourselves from the Black Sea Grain Initiative. And recently the United States of America, the United Nations, it wanted to continue the Black Sea Grain Initiative. And this particular effort of the United Nations was, adored by India, and India has said like we are going to support United Nations in continuing the Black Sea Grain Initiative. Okay, so this is the thing, this is the story that is happening. So here you need to understand about location of Sea of Azov, location of Black Sea, and also in yesterday's discussion we have asked a question related to prelims where we talked about all those 6 countries that surround the Black Sea, okay, countries that border the Black Sea. So in this article they have talked about the importance of the Black Sea, importance of, let's say, like Kerch Bridge, where it is located, and how it acts as a very significant place, right, very significant place. Okay, so in your free time you can read that article. Another article we have, in this article it says, does Musk's XAI have a competitive advantage over OpenAI? Okay, OpenAI is a company that has established, right, that has established ChatGPT. It has established ChatGPT. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a generative artificial intelligence chatbot where you can ask any question and it is going to give answers on that, and it gives intelligent answers in a manner that, like, which is similar to a human being's answer. So it is just a chatbot. And if I talk about the OpenAI, Elon Musk was one of the founder of OpenAI. Okay, Elon Musk was one of the founder of OpenAI, and he has co-founded OpenAI in 2015 with Sam Altman. Okay, so Elon Musk and Sam Altman, both of them started OpenAI together. But after a, let's say, tussle between Elon Musk and this Sam Altman, Elon Musk has left OpenAI. I mean, like, he has left OpenAI, and then OpenAI was working and they have developed ChatGPT. After that, what has happened now, soon after ChatGPT was launched, huge number of people, thousands of people signed a petition asking OpenAI to stop further research into this particular thing. Why? Because there was question of accountability from this particular software, because it may give, let's say, some answers that are not good, let's say, that are beyond regulation. So people have started talking about how do we regulate the chat GPT, how do we regulate the generative artificial intelligence. And now Elon Musk has announced, like he was one of the, let's say, co-signee of that particular petition. Now Elon Musk has announced another company which is XAI. This will be an artificial intelligence company, and for that what he has done, he has hired, like, most renowned professionals of artificial intelligence from some of the top-notch companies like Google, Microsoft, even OpenAI, right? And these people have already worked in some of the artificial intelligence projects. For example, like Google had DeepMind, okay? So one of the person has worked over there also. Then one of the person has worked in OpenAI. So these people have already worked in very cutting edge artificial intelligence research and development, and Elon Musk have made them as founding members of the XAI. Now people are pondering upon that, the company that Elon Musk has started, this company may soon come up with a product that's going to outcompete the chat GPT, that's going to outcompete OpenAI, okay? And Elon Musk has said that they are going to leverage Twitter and Tesla. Twitter means, Twitter is a, let's say, short messaging service, and Elon Musk is a let's say, owner of Twitter and Tesla. So on the platform Twitter, I mean, like, many people have already tweeted so many things, so they are going to use those tweets as data, right, as input data for the XAI. And also Tesla is a, let's say, company that develops these things, that develops vehicles, right, automotive vehicles. Automotive means self-driving cars. So they are going to use some of the technologies, artificial intelligence technologies of self-driving cars here in XAI, and data of XAI will be used by Elon Musk in Tesla also. So, these two organizations, Tesla and XAI, they are going to complement one another. So this is the thing, and here they have mentioned about DeepMind, AlphaGo, AlphaZero, like that. These are some of the artificial intelligence related products, okay? So this is just an article that talks about the competition between OpenAI and Elon Musk's XAI. Now we have another topic, very short topic. This is important for the PT pointer. It says the 4th G20 Energy Transition Working Group met in Goa, okay? So G20, you know, G20 is a group of 20 nations. 19 countries are part of it. Apart from this, the European Union is also part of it. European Union has many member countries, around 28, 29 member countries are part of European Union. So it has many member countries. So they have established energy transition working groups, okay? The 4th working group, recently met in Goa. And in this article, they have asked some questions, okay? Some questions related to, some questions related to Goa question, and they also give answer to the next day, okay? So you can just go through this article in your free time to learn more about it. Again, this is a very, very interesting topic, okay? This is a very interesting topic that says, raise Katchatheevu Tamils issue during Sri Lankan President's visit. CM calls on PM, okay? So recently what has happened, this MK Stalin urges center to initiate diplomatic efforts to revisit the agreement transferring Katchatheevu islet to Lanka. DMK MPs request to arrange meeting with Wickramasinghe. So let's discuss about this thing in detail. Okay. So this topic is about Katchatheevu Island or islet. Okay, in short it is let's say it is known as islet, a smaller form of island. Okay, so Katchatheevu Island. So recently, so let's discuss about this topic. On one hand, let's say this is the southern portion of India. I am just drawing the map of the southern portion of India. Okay, I am just drawing the map of southern portion of India. Sri Lanka is located somewhere here, let's say. This is Sri Lanka. So between India and Sri Lanka we have water. Okay, we have water, right? We have water. On one side we have Bay of Bengal, and over here we have Arabian Sea, and this is Indian Ocean. And so these are the waters. So like if I talk about a law which is known as United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea talks about, let's say, many things related to those nations that have some coastal borders. Okay, it talks about territorial water. Okay, it talks about territorial water. It talks about contiguous zone. It talks about exclusive economic zone. It talks about international waters, right? Or high seas, etc. So the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea talks about the right of the coastal state in waters, right? Let's say what will be the right of India in the waters, and to up to what extent what right India will be having. So in this case, between India and Sri Lanka, generally if Sri Lanka was not there, India would have been having right of up to, let's say 200 kilometers beyond the this baseline, right? Up to 200 nautical miles, India would be having the exclusive right over its resources. However, since Sri Lanka is a country which is there in the oceans, so the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea says that if the water is shared between two countries and such that the distance is not more than 200 nautical miles, right? In that case, there will be a middle line. Okay, middle line. I mean the middle line will separate the boundary. It will create the borders, right? Means middle line, to the left of the middle line the India will be having rights over the fishing activities. To the right of this line, so the right will be of Sri Lanka. However, what has happened, the government of India had previously, right, earlier, I think in 2008, the government of India, what it did earlier, the government of India had done a diplomatic tie-up. They have arranged a diplomatic talk with the, let's say, high-level officials of Sri Lanka, and government of India has transferred right of one of the island, which is known as Katchatheevu Island, to Sri Lankan government. However, in this process, the government of India should have consulted the Tamil Nadu government, the government of Tamil Nadu. Right, because that earlier that island was part of Tamil Nadu, and people from Tamil Nadu used to do fishing activities in the Katchatheevu Island. Okay, Tamil Nadu people used to do fishing activities, but since the central government, central government directly did this particular memorandum of understanding with Sri Lanka without consulting the Tamil Nadu state government. So Tamil Nadu state government feels that the government of India should have consulted the Tamil Nadu people and also should have taken into account the views of fishermen from Tamil Nadu. So far, I mean now if I talk about the rights on the Katchatheevu Island, the right lies with the Sri Lankan government because central government of India has done this arrangement. But now the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, okay, what he wants that, like, you know, since the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Ranil Wickremesinghe, right, since he is going to visit, he is visiting India. So M.K. Stalin wants that the Prime Minister of India should talk to the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka and should resolve this particular dispute and try to get back, okay, he should, let's say, try to get back the Katchatheevu island from Sri Lanka. So this is one of the proposal of M.K. Stalin, and like he has written a letter to the Prime Minister of India in this regard. And also he has also asked the Prime Minister of India that, like, you know, in his state visit, in the state visit of the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka to India, in this state visit, like, you know, he should also arrange a meeting with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, okay, so that, like, they can also discuss, like, you know, on the same table with the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, okay. So this is all, I mean, like, you know, this is related to, let's say, many aspects. So in future, once he visits in India, so there will be many talks related to it. And just for your understanding, we have included these maps to showcase, right, where is Katchatheevu island located, right. So you can see this is state of Tamil Nadu in the southern portion of India, and this is Rameshwaram, this place, and this is Katchatheevu, okay, this red dotted place over here, this is Katchatheevu island. Earlier, Tamil Nadu fishermen used to go and do fishing activities over there, because their livelihood is dependent on fishing activity, right. But since government of India has done an understanding and, like, let's say, transferred this thing to Sri Lanka, now Sri Lankan Navy is, let's say, like, is located over here, and Tamil fishermen are not getting, let's say, like, you know, proper places to go and do fishing. So that's the issue now, right. And so this is a map that we have taken, and also this is another map, okay, this is the map that is, let's say, like, drawn by Sri Lankan authorities, that, like, you know, so this is Indo-Sri Lanka maritime boundary. I mean, like, this boundary is, like, passes through middle between India and Sri Lanka, and this Katchatheevu island, I mean, like, it has been, let's say, transferred to Sri Lanka by government of India, and these are the, let's say, like, you know, outer limit of exclusive economic zone. Exclusive economic zone, like, these things are mentioned under United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, right. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and recently we discussed about this particular organization, right, about this particular convention in a case which is related to South China Sea in Permanent Court of Arbitration related dispute, okay. PCA has resolved a dispute related to South China Sea, right. In that case also we have discussed earlier. So, like, if you have not watched those discussions, I request you to go through it, because, like, that will help you to understand the UNCLOS in detail, because we have discussed so many things in detail in that article. Again, we have another topic. It says Delhi High Court asks Archaeological Survey of India, ASI means Archaeological Survey of India, to state policy on allowing prayers in protected monuments, okay. So you might be knowing that, like, you know, in the Qutub complex, in Qutub Minar, there is, let's say, nearby Qutub Minar, there is Qutub complex, a big area. So that Qutub complex also houses a mosque, okay, which is known as Mughal mosque, okay. Mosque means where Muslim people offer namaz, right. So in that Mughal mosque, like, earlier Muslim people used to offer namaz, they used to go there and they used to offer namaz. But recently the Archaeological Survey of India has stopped people from offering namaz in that particular place. So the aggrieved people, they have reached the High Court, they have reached the Delhi High Court seeking permission to offer namaz in that particular place in Mughal mosque. However, the other party has said that since this Qutub complex is a protected monument It is a protected monument under Archaeological Survey of India. So no religious activity should be held over there. And the Delhi High Court has not yet given a detailed verdict, but it has asked the Archaeological Survey of India to mention about those provisions in the law that allows prayers to happen inside the protected monuments. Okay, so this is an ongoing activity. You need to understand about the functioning of the, let's say, Archaeological Survey of India. So this is again a PT pointed topic. It says display age-based rating in government ads to OTT platforms. Okay. So recently what has happened, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, okay, has asked OTT platform, OTT stands for over the top platforms, for example Netflix, right, and there are some other platforms also. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has asked OTT platforms to ensure display of age-based classification rating in the advertisement and other promotional material published by them. For example, let's say like OTT platforms, what they used to do earlier, they used to let's say already published films, let's say like earlier directors were making films, and after then those films used to get through the censor board, it was censored, and after then like it used to be aired in the movie halls. But now these OTT platforms are themselves making the content. Okay, they are themselves content making organizations. They are making the content, or like they are releasing films without going through the conventional channel. So that's why many of those contents have some kind of sexual let's say sexually explicit material. And that's why the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has said that if OTT platforms are publishing something, if they are advertising some of their content, they should also mention about age-based criteria. Okay, they should mention about age-based classification. For example, this movie is good for those people who are above the age of 12 years, those who are above the age of 18 years, etc. Okay, it depends on the content in that particular let's say product, in that particular movie that is being advertised. Okay, so there was a code, the Code of Ethics for Online Curated Content under the Information Technology Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021. Okay, so under this the ministry has asked them, right, to the ministry has asked the OTT platforms to let's say have mention of age-based classification. Then we have another question. It says, with reference to over-the-top platforms, consider the following statements. Let's see. It will be regulated by the Information and Broadcasting Ministry. Yes, this is right. Article 20. Okay, so when we have mentioned Article 20, it means Article 20 of the Constitution of India. Okay. Article 20 states that privilege can be taken away by imposing reasonable restrictions which are in the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India. This statement is wrong because this is mentioned in Article 19 Clause 2 of the Constitution of India. Okay, Article 19. Article 19 of the Constitution of India is about the freedom of speech and expression. And the freedom of speech and expression comes with reasonable restrictions. And that freedom can be taken away also by imposing reasonable restrictions. So that is mentioned in Article 19, not in Article 20. And here they are asking which of these statements are correct. So correct answer would be option A only. Option A would be the correct answer. So this is the explanation of the question. You can go through the explanation in your free time, right? Now this is another topic, fresh consultation on UCC, Uniform Civil Code, was initiated considering its importance. Okay, Meghwal. So the thing is here, the Law Minister of India, his name is Mr. Meghwal. Okay, he has recently notified. Okay, he has recently notified that the 22nd Law Commission. Okay, 22nd Law Commission has started taking inputs from the public at large related to uniform civil code. The government of India wants to come up with uniform civil code, and earlier they have opened that particular draft document for receiving inputs from the public related to their suggestions and all. They have received huge number of applications from the public at large. However, now they have extended the date until 31st of July. People can mention about their reservation, they can mention about their stand related to uniform civil code. So Mr. Meghwal, the law minister of India, he has recently mentioned that the 21st Law Commission did not submit a report on reform of family law. However, the 22nd Law Commission is taking up that matter, and consultation are let's say the inputs are being received from the public, and once the inputs are received, then after then they are going to finalize the draft of the uniform civil code, and then they are going to produce it before the Parliament of India, right, to be passed as a law. So now we have another topic. It says Putin opted out to not to jeopardize summit. Okay, so recently a BRICS summit, okay, a BRICS summit is going to happen in South Africa. Okay, BRICS summit is going to happen in South Africa, and BRICS is an acronym for a grouping, right? BRICS is a grouping, it is an international group. Its members are 5 countries, okay, Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Okay, so they are the member countries of this particular grouping, and a summit, BRICS summit, is going to happen in South Africa. However, Mr. Putin, Vladimir Putin, is not going to participate in the BRICS summit. Okay, he is not going to participate in BRICS summit. Why? Because Mr. Putin is he is the president of Russia. Okay, he is the president of Russia, and you know that Russia has started a special military operation. It says it has started a special military operation. Where? A special military operation on Ukraine, and Ukraine considers it to be a war, right, waged by Russia. It's an act of aggression. Okay, now because recently what has happened, that many children have been killed in Ukraine and many children have been deported also, and there is an international code which is known as International Criminal Court, and this International Criminal Court is an international organization. It is an international organization, it's an international criminal code. So this court okay, so this court was established, I mean many countries are members of this International Criminal Court, and this International Criminal Court has jurisdiction all over the world, right, to try individuals who have committed crimes like genocide, okay, who have committed crimes like genocide or war crimes, okay, war crimes, genocide, war crimes, or let's say crimes of aggression, okay, etc. So this International Criminal Court has recently issued a arrest warrant. It has issued, this particular International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrant. ICC has issued arrest warrant against Mr. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. However, the International Criminal Court does not have police of its own. They do not have law enforcement agencies. So if Mr. Putin comes to South Africa, right, South African government has the responsibility of arresting Mr. Putin. However, why? Because South Africa is also a member of International Criminal Court. However, Russia is the largest country in the world. South Africa is a very small nation, and they are part of one common group which is BRICS. So South Africa will not, let's say although it is under the obligation, legal obligation of arresting Mr. Putin. However, even if Putin comes, South Africa will not be able to arrest him. And that's why Mr. Putin has decided not to participate in the BRICS summit, okay? Not to jeopardize this summit, okay? So this is all in this topic. You can read it in your free time. I just wanted to make you understand about this particular issue. Now again, this is a question for you. It says, with reference to the International Criminal Court, ICC, consider the following statements. It issued arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin for war crimes in Ukraine. This statement is right. It says, it is stated that Putin bears individual criminal responsibility for abduction and deportation of Ukrainian children. This is also right. They are asking which of these statements are correct. So both are correct. Okay, both these statements are correct. So we have mentioned the solution to this question over here. Solution is C, and everything is mentioned over here clearly. The solution is given. Again, we have another topic quickly. We'll be taking this topic on a quicker note. It says Supreme Court urges center to transfer cheetah to another location. The government of India has started a cheetah reintroduction program. Okay, cheetah reintroduction program. Government of India has started cheetah reintroduction program. And cheetahs have been declared as extinct in India in 1952 itself. But we want to reintroduce the cheetahs so that we can have the ecological, let's say, we can have ecological sanctity, because cheetahs are considered to be the top predators. They are the top predators, top level carnivore. And if they are part of an ecosystem, that ecosystem will thrive, because all the levels of ecosystem will be met. You might be knowing about trophic level. Okay, we do have trophic level that we teach in environment and ecology classes. So that's the thing. Now what has happened, the government of India has tied up with South Africa and Namibia. Okay, it has tied up with South Africa and Namibia, and we have, let's say, imported 20 cheetahs. We have imported 20 cheetahs, and out of those 20 cheetahs, so far 8 cheetahs have died. Okay, 8 cheetahs have died within 1 year. It amounts to 40% of death of cheetah. Okay, 40% of the cheetah have died within 1 year itself. So now environmentalists, okay, are concerned about it. Those people who are concerned about livelihood of the animal, so they are also concerned about it. So recently the Supreme Court of India has urged the central government to transfer cheetahs to another location if their life is in danger in Kuno National Park. You might be knowing that these cheetahs are located in the Kuno National Park, which is located in the state of Maharashtra. Okay, so this is just an ongoing issue. So we have thought of covering this. Again, we have another question for you. It says, with reference to Project Cheetah, consider the following statements. It is the world's first intercontinental large wild carnivore translocation project. This is right statement. Second, the National Cheetah Conservation Authority has constituted Cheetah Project Steering Committee. It's not National Cheetah Conservation Authority. This is National Tiger Conservation Authority. It is known as NTCA. So now they are asking which of the statements given above is or are incorrect. We need to identify incorrect statement. So second statement is incorrect. So answer option B would be the right answer. Okay, option B is the right answer. So this is National Tiger Conservation Authority. Other details are mentioned. You can read about it in your free time. You can download it from the PDF. Okay, the PDF can be downloaded from the description of the YouTube video. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.